What if I told you that what you call being awake right now is actually just another form of sleep? What if the reality you're experiencing at this very moment is no different from a dream you had last night? This is exactly what Al-Ghazali discovered during a profound sleep experiment that shattered his understanding of consciousness itself. If you're ready to question the very nature of your waking awareness, hit subscribe now, because what I'm about to reveal will expose the greatest illusion that keeps humanity trapped in spiritual unconsciousness. In the year 1095, in the great city of Baghdad, something extraordinary happened that would revolutionize how Islamic civilization understood the nature of human consciousness. Al-Ghazali, at the absolute pinnacle of his intellectual powers, was about to stumble upon a discovery so profound that it would force him to abandon everything he thought he knew about reality itself. But this discovery didn't come through years of study or philosophical debate. It came through something as simple and universal as sleep. Yet what Al-Ghazali experienced during this sleep would prove that consciousness operates on levels so subtle and profound that most human beings live their entire lives without ever awakening to them. The mystery began when Al-Ghazali started noticing something strange about his dreams. As someone who had mastered logic, theology, and philosophy, he possessed an unusually analytical mind. And this analytical precision began to turn inward toward the nature of consciousness itself. He noticed that during dreams, he experienced a complete world. He saw people, had conversations, felt emotions, made decisions, solved problems. In the dream state, that dream reality felt absolutely real and valid. But when he woke up, he realized that entire world had been nothing but movements in consciousness. This observation led him to ask a question that would change everything. If dream consciousness can create such a convincing reality that I believe it completely while I'm experiencing it, how do I know that waking consciousness isn't doing exactly the same thing? As Al-Ghazali investigated this question more deeply, he made a startling discovery. He realized that what we call waking consciousness and dream consciousness are actually just two different modes of the same fundamental awareness. Both involve a sense of being someone, experiencing something in some kind of world. But here's where his investigation became truly profound. Al-Ghazali discovered that there was a third state of consciousness, one that he experienced occasionally during the transition between sleeping and waking. In this state, he was aware that he was dreaming while still in the dream, and simultaneously aware of his sleeping body. This third state revealed something extraordinary. There was an awareness that was present during dreaming, present during waking, and present during the transition between them. This unchanging awareness seemed to be the constant factor, while sleeping, dreaming, and waking were just different contents arising within it. But Al-Ghazali's investigation didn't stop there. As he began to pay more attention to this unchanging awareness, he discovered something that terrified and liberated him simultaneously. He realized that what he had always thought of as himself, his thoughts, emotions, memories, even his sense of being Al-Ghazali, were just more contents arising in awareness, no different from dream characters. Think about this carefully. Right now, there are thoughts appearing in your awareness. There are sensations in your body. There are emotions flowing through your experience. But who or what is aware of these thoughts, sensations, and emotions? Al-Ghazali discovered that when he looked for the one who was aware, he couldn't find anyone there. There was just awareness itself. Not someone being aware, but awareness being aware of itself through all these different experiences. This is where Al-Ghazali made his most revolutionary discovery about the nature of consciousness. He found that what most people call being awake is actually just the most subtle form of spiritual sleep. He identified 7 distinct levels of consciousness, each one representing a deeper awakening from the previous level. The first level is ordinary waking consciousness, what most people consider being awake. But Al-Ghazali realized this is actually a kind of sleep, because we're completely identified with the content of experience rather than recognizing the awareness in which all experience appears. The second level is lucid dreaming, becoming aware that you're dreaming while still in the dream. This represents the beginning of awakening because you start to distinguish between the dreamer and the dream content. The third level is what Al-Ghazali called the awakening within waking, recognizing that thoughts, emotions, and sensations are arising in awareness rather than being who you are. This is like becoming lucid in waking life. But there were 4 more levels beyond this, each representing subtler and subtler recognitions of what consciousness actually is when it's not mistaking itself for any of its contents. What Al-Ghazali discovered is that what we call sleep and awakening have nothing to do with whether your physical eyes are open or closed. True spiritual sleep is identification with any experience, whether that experience is a dream, a thought, an emotion, or even the sense of being a separate person. True spiritual awakening is the recognition that you are the awareness in which all experiences appear and disappear, but which itself never comes or goes, never sleeps or wakes, never changes regardless of what's appearing within it. This is why Al-Ghazali said that most people spend their entire lives asleep, even during their waking hours. They mistake themselves for the content of their experience rather than recognizing themselves as the consciousness in which all experience appears. When Al-Ghazali fully integrated this understanding, it transformed how he approached every aspect of life. Prayer became not something he did, but a recognition of the consciousness that was already praying itself. Study became not something he engaged in, but awareness recognizing itself through the activity of learning. Most importantly, he stopped trying to wake up from anything because he realized that what he truly was had never been asleep. The search for awakening, the effort to become more conscious, the struggle to overcome spiritual obstacles, all of this was just more content arising in the awareness that was already perfectly awake. So how do you apply this discovery? How do you begin to recognize the difference between spiritual sleep and spiritual awakening? Al-Ghazali taught that the first step is simply noticing that you are aware. Right now, as you're watching this video, notice that you are aware of watching. Notice that awareness is present with every thought, every sensation, every emotion that arises. Then begin to investigate who or what is aware. Don't think about this question. Actually look for the one who is aware. What you'll discover, just as Al-Ghazali did, is that you can't find anyone there. There's just awareness being aware of itself. This isn't a philosophical concept to understand intellectually. This is a direct recognition available right now. The awareness that is reading these words is the same awareness that experiences dreams, the same awareness that will be present when this body sleeps tonight. When you truly recognize what Al-Ghazali discovered through his sleep experiment, everything changes. Not because anything new is added to your experience, but because you stop mistaking yourself for something you never were. You don't become more conscious. You recognize that consciousness is what you have always been. You don't wake up from anything. You recognize that what you truly are has never been asleep. This is the ultimate teaching that emerged from Al-Ghazali's investigation into the nature of sleep and awakening. You are not someone who sometimes sleeps and sometimes wakes. You are the eternal wakefulness in which the appearance of sleeping and waking arise and dissolve like waves on an ocean. If this video has begun to awaken something in your recognition of what you truly are, subscribe now and hit the notification bell, because in our next video, I'm going to share Al-Ghazali's practical method for maintaining awareness during sleep. The advanced practice he developed for remaining conscious even while the body sleeps. Until then, remember what Al-Ghazali discovered in Baghdad over 900 years ago. You have never been asleep, and you have never needed to wake up. You are the awakeness itself.